Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late July 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarians. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we have for Aquarius here? In late July, it is Leo season, a beautiful time of year. What do we have? What energies, messages, insights can we pull for our good friends? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius, please. Lots of very powerful energy around you for the last couple weeks, so we'll see how it's going to play out this week. What's going on? Thank you. Okay, Ariel, I do believe this showed up in the Gemini reading this week as well, and I like when she shows up. To me, it's like very imaginative. It's also daydreamy, but to me, it's also a card of the future and planning, which is a theme I've been seeing through all air signs, and we'll get into that a little further in a moment. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little more about this card. So, if you look at the imagery, we see Ariel there. She's half out of the water, half within. I like this card because it's aesthetically beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I'm sure everyone has seen The Little Mermaid a whole bunch of times, right? Ariel is in a beautiful place, right? Like there's great things and positive things around her, but there is still more that she wants. There's somewhere else she would rather be, or wants to make more of her experience. That's a big theme with this card and with Ariel itself. So the fact that her head is in the clouds does speak to somebody possibly planning and strategizing and looking into the future. So if in recent times you've kind of been just like taking things as they come, maybe Spirit's asking you to really look a little bit down the line, right? Don't live there. Don't stay there too long, because then you might get anxious. But just think about the future for one reason or another. This could also be very daydreaming, okay? So if none of that other stuff applies, when I see this card, it could be Spirit just saying like, hey, Aquarius, you might be up in your thoughts a little more than you normally are. You might be daydreaming a little bit. But again, this is a beautiful card of a very positive future. So we're just going to leave it at that for now. Let's dive into tarot. And I would say this first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Aquarians, guides, and spirit team. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading, because the energy could still bleed over for a couple weeks. It was titled A Shocking Return. You had the tower showing up, and I always say that not every tower is a bad tower, but it was showing up very heavily indeed within that Aquarius reading. It just felt like things popping in. Now just know, when it comes to things returning, whether it's people, whether it's situations, whether it's thought processes, things could come in very rapidly, and it still could. Okay, so let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it goes for you, because we could be looking at your vibe or somebody else's. Let's get you 3 cards here. What do we got for my Aquarians? Maybe it'll calm down a little bit, right? What's up with Aquarius? What do we got? Thank you. Okay, 4 Pentacles. Now, that's a neutral card to me. I know there's some readers, when they see that 4 Pentacles, they're like, uh-oh. To me, it could be good depending what the situation is. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. 5 Cups, okay. We will get one more out here, because these could possibly be some challenges depending. All right, what do we got here for Aquarius, please? Thank you. Okay, Ace of Cups. So there is a silver lining with this week's reading. So I do like that we have the Ace of Cups here on the back end, but I think you see that we are forming a bit of a theme here. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, Aquarius, I do see a couple cards that could be perceived as challenging. I also see a very positive silver lining that could be here as well. But elementally, when I look at this mix, we have a lot of water, which is a lot of emotion. Now, I know a lot of people give Aquarians the I don't want to say reputation, but people say Aquarians are very logical thinkers, and that's true. Usually Aquarian energy is like highly logical, similar to like Gemini energy, both air signs. But when I see this, just know the emotions could be ramped up or amped up a little more so than normal, especially with these on the back end. Now, I will say this, the elemental combination we have going on is really good. When you mix earth and water together, that is possibility. Okay, so even from this possible struggle, there is possibility. So let's go through and we'll go through bit by bit and really start to build this out. So position number one, we have the Four of Pentacles. Again, I always say that, yeah, that's a neutral card to me. In regards to money and finance, when we see this card, you see that person, they're clamped onto that pentacle, holding on tight. This could literally just represent saving up for something, saving up for a big purchase, getting ready to make a big purchase. There is something here about budgeting money when this card is in the mix. We get into some issues with this card when we start talking about interpersonal relationships, because one, this could be somebody that's not letting go of something. There could be a thought process or something where they're not letting go of it, or they can't let go of it. And I always say cards like this that could be challenges, problems, or situations are always on a spectrum, whereas it could be something very minor, but at the same time, it could get ramped up into something major. This could represent someone that's a little possessive. This could represent somebody that's a jealous possibly as well. But it's also an energy that it's just, I'm not letting go of this. Like that's kind of what this feels like to me. Okay. And we'll see what shows up underneath it. Again, if we're talking about finance, if we're talking about stability, this is a good card for that, right? But when we're talking about personal relationships, that's when we could really hit a possible situation or problem there. Moving to the center, we have the Five of Cups. Been seeing this a lot in recent weeks, actually. And we have our little Gothic emo pal right next to the River of Tears. And again, like the other card, that could represent a situation or problem, it's on a spectrum. So for some of you, maybe there's just a couple days where you're going to be feeling a little moody. You might be feeling a little gloomy. You might be feeling a little down, right? It doesn't always have to be a major thing, but at the same time, this could also be like a really tough time that someone's going through. So if it's not you, it could be someone else, and they are experiencing the feels, right? This is someone feeling big feelings. And it could range anywhere from like a little bit of anxiousness and nervousness all the way up to like heartbreak, depending. So we'll see what the River of Tears tells us. Now, I will say this card is not the be all end all. When I see this card, I don't feel like this is final destination, because notice it's only halfway through the suit. This isn't a 10, this is a 5. Okay, so it's like, yeah, there's still cups standing. There's still things off in the distance. It is not complete. Mission is not complete just yet, so something hasn't reached its final culmination. So we'll see what's showing up, but we do see some possible situations here or problems. Now, moving to the very back end, we get to the silver lining, and it does double down on the energy that we were talking about when it comes to emotion. We have the Ace of Cups. Now, all aces are opportunities. All aces are offers. Aces also represent communication, conversation, and talking. So there could be one of importance, especially connected with whatever this situation is that we're seeing up in the front. This is one of my favorite aces. Okay, so whether it is an opportunity, offer, or even a conversation, it could be a very good one. Now, if we're talking the simplest terms of the Ace of Cups, it could be telling us how someone is feeling. We already have some clues here about how one person might be feeling, but the Ace of Cups is one's emotional state. In the positive, it's great, it's loving. There's a lot of potential and silver lining here. But if it's in the reverse, watch out, especially with all the energies we have going on here. So there might be a warning or two in this week's reading. But, I mean, who knows? This could take a nice turn. So get that Ace of Cups right there. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aquarius. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we have for Aquarius, please? Guides and Spirit team. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Four of Pentacles. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Four of Pentacles here? Why is it in the mix? Thank you. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. So this could be the type of individual where it's like, I will never forget. Okay. Now, again, if we're talking about the monetary, if we're talking about work things, for a lot of you, this could be spirit telling you like, hey, stash some money aside. You might want to save away. You might want to stash something away. But if we are talking interpersonal relationships, when I see the Four of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, I'm not forgetting. I can't forget. Okay, so am I saying this is not an energy of forgiveness? I want to see how the rest of this plays out, but it's like I cannot forget it, or I can't get it off of my mind. So whether this is somebody that is an intrusive thought, or whether this is someone's thought process, it's like not budging. That's like the energy it's picking up to me. Now, can there be movement going forward? Sure, but is it going to be slow? Absolutely. Any of you that might have big issues with an earth sign, okay, when we see this energy in the front end, that's something to watch out for. But just when I see this King of Pentacles in reverse, it tells me that it's a very unpredictable alignment underneath this Four of Pentacles. So this is the type of person where if you step on their toes, they're never going to forget, or they're always going to bring it up. That's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here, where it could be a person where, like, even if you solve the problem and you come to an agreement, they're never going to forget, and they're always going to keep bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up. Okay, so this might be an energy to watch out for, depending. It's like once something's done, they never let it go. Let's keep moving over. Very peculiar. I wasn't expecting that here. So let's see what that Five of Cups has to say. We'll see. So what is going on? Why is that Five of Cups here? Thank you. Okay. Three of Swords. Okay. Yeah, so we could be seeing a pretty serious warning here, Aquarius, or an important one at the very least, because we have the Three of Swords underneath this Five of Cups. Now, for a portion of you, if we are not talking about you, if you are fine and dandy, everything's cool, you're in Ace of Cups mode, beautiful, awesome. But just know, there might be somebody that they got some big things they're working through, even if they don't readily show it on the outside. Like with this Four of Pentacles, with the King of Pentacles in reverse. Now we have the Five of Cups with the Three of Swords in the upright. This is somebody really going through it. And I do feel like it's genuine. So to me, it feels, I don't want to say it feels like they're nervous, but it feels like this person has some problems that they're going through, and they might be a bit of a mess right now. Okay. And I don't say that in a mean way. I don't say that in a derogatory way. And if this is you, you have my empathy, right? But some of you, this doesn't even connect to your energy. The Three of Swords is the most classic card in tarot, right? You see it everywhere. You see it on posters and clothing and books and you name it. Underneath the River of Tears, this card of pain, it's very simple, straightforward, that this is someone where right now their emotions, their feelings, even their thoughts could be a bit of a mess. Okay, so this, I would say at minimum, I was speaking about the spectrum. At minimum, this is someone that is highly stressed out or feeling cornered or even nervous, possibly. Like I'm not liking the energy I'm picking up here. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving over to the Ace of Cups. This can be an important warning here. Okay, you might want to lay low this coming week. That's one thing I'll say. So why is this Ace of Cups in the mix? Why is it here? Give us that silver lining, please. Let's see. Why is this Ace of Cups in the mix? Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Wounded warrior. Okay. Need a little time to heal. So what I'm feeling in the front end is absolutely not permanent. That's one thing we're picking up here. Be cautious in this time with your emotions. Okay. I know I already spoke about the possible warnings, but when I see the Nine of Wands in front, or clarifying this Ace of Cups, it is Spirit telling you to watch out for yourself. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be loving to yourself as well. Now, I know if you're an empathetic individual, you always want to care for people around you. You always want to care for people that you care about, right? And if they're going through a tough time, you want to be a shoulder to lean on. But there is also an energy here with the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Wands. It's like, you need to watch out for yourself as well. You need to prioritize yourself and your feelings. A portion of you, there could be blockages. I will also say this could represent a rejection of some sort as well. So watch out for that. So whether it's a behavior, whether it's a situation in general, whether it's a person, when I see the Ace of Cups with the Nine of Wands, it's like, no, not right now. Okay, like, no, not right now, not ready for whatever reason. So just watch out for that. There could be an energy of rejection here as well. But again, there is something about protecting yourself, being kind to yourself, and loving yourself as well. Okay, like this is a need to heal, because that's the big thing with the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. It's wounded, but it's not permanent. That's the beautiful thing, the underlying tone of this spread. Now, if you're going through life right now and it's cool and no one you're connected to and that you know is going through a tough time, awesome. Please feel free to check one of your other alignments. But this is a bit of a concerning spread this week, Aquarius, and you know I always keep it real with you. I'll never be mean, but I'll always be honest. And what I'm picking up in the energy this week is it's a little concerning to me. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Four of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles in reverse. Now, I was saying this feels like somebody that can't forget something, or there's a thought, whether it's an intrusive thought, or this could even be the type of person where it's like, okay, something happens, you solve the problem, but they never let it go. That's the vibe that was given me. So do with that information what you will. Moving to the center, I have the Five of Cups with the Three of Swords in the upright. And to me, this felt like someone was a bit all over the place, right? This someone a bit anxious or nervous, or it felt a little messy, right? Where like someone they're in a messy place right now. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Getting to the back end, we have the Ace of Cups with the Nine of Wands in the upright. Make sure you protect yourself in this time, protect your emotions, but be kind, loving, and empathetic towards yourself as well. Make sure you're prioritizing your wellness and your health. Super important here on the back end, because we all want to help others. And if these aren't your emotions that you're feeling, sure, you could help others, but make sure it's not at detriment to yourself. Again, there's also an energy of possible rejection here as well, so keep that in mind. But yeah, there's warnings here this week, Aquarius. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, so let's get a good shuffle here. What's in the shadows for Aquarius? Guides and spirit team. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this card out here. What's going on? Quick, very first shuffle. Okay, the Magician, the card of manifesting, the card of creating. And there is also a message to be had here whenever we have the Magician about control. So in this time, for a lot of you, if you are going through a difficult time, you might be able to find some solace through spirituality and spiritual ritual. That could be a big thing here, because the Magician is a card of ritual, getting into a routine or just doing something to really connect to yourself spiritually. This is a big card of manifesting and creating. So I want to remind you all that we are creator beings. Okay, yes, we have to meet the universe halfway. We have to take action. We can't just snap our fingers and bring things into existence, but we are creator beings, and never forget that. Never forget the power that you have when the Magician shows up as a shadow card. But another thing I want to say with this card as the shadow is knowing that there are always things in life that we can control, and there's things that we can't. There's always going to be things that are out of our hands. We can't control the emotions of others. We can't control the actions of others. We can only control our responses and how we do things and what we do and the actions we take. So I feel like there is something here about really doing some thinking and considering that, especially if some choppy things pop up this week. Just know that you can only control so much, and that's okay. So Aquarius, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details, the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.